change up for the show today. Hello, Miss Christy Barton, if you're still there, and Lori Brown looking over here. We've entered the arrow of emotional truth. But either way, if you're new to my show, welcome, you energetic beings, to, of course, another fantastic Friday, the last Friday in the season of Sagittarius. But today we are stepping through the firelight or the highlight of a new moon in Sagittarius. This is a cosmic ignition point, a horizon opening moment where intention sets destiny and your spirit remembers its aim. Like, what are you aiming for? And Sagittarius brings expansion, faith. It's the ninth energetic center, the soul's harmonic, but it also brings vision. Clear vision through the eye of creator, source, God, universe, whatever the front door you want to call that frequency. And new moons also bring new beginnings. And together they are whispering. Where your arrow lands is determined by where your spirit points. It's a spirit-to-spirit conversation, spirit to source as well. So as this fresh lunar cycle opens, we're also approaching my favorite holiday, Yule, the Winter Solstice, the longest night of the year, where light is reborn through the darkness, the ghost in the darkness. And this is the sacred hinge of the season, the in-between chapter where the old dissolves and the new has not fully formed, and magic moves through the cracks. This is literally my favorite season and time of the year, and it's happening right before Yule. So we enter literally the most powerful manifestation window of the entire year. Omen Days, if you're new here, when every sign, symbol, dream, whisper speaks to the 12 months ahead. This literally is like my favorite ritual of all time, and I do ritual all the time. So today's new moon is more than a beginning. It literally is a prelude, a setting of frequency, a clearing of the path so that your wishes can land with clarity and precision. So over the next week, your energy becomes the spell, the ritual. Your attention becomes literally the ritual, what you pay attention to, and your alignment becomes the prophecy. And that prophecy, or the prophetic dreams or whatever, start manifesting. So pay attention. And also settle in, tune into your field. And today we're going to explore beyond the new moon's elemental chart. We did that last week. If you're curious about that, listen to the replay. I dove deep into this new moon's energy because Sagittarius doesn't just guide, it literally aims. And today our soul is remembering exactly where that arrow wants to fly. It's unique and individual to each and every one of us. But also we are entering the flow in the Dagara cosmology as we look forward into the next cycle. Because we're approaching 2026, which is a year of water in the Dagara cosmology and their will, which I'll be covering later. But water in the Dagara, in this lineage, is not just an element. It's actually a portal. It's the gateway to memory, intuition, healing, and it's the great ancestral river that runs beneath everything that we are and are not sometimes, the unseen. And water years invite us to return to the flow, to soften the places that have been rigid, and to dissolve what has grown or restricted, made things feel too tight, and to really surrender the illusion that we must push to move forward, which is also kind of the cosmic ending of Neptune at the 29th degree in Pisces. So I always say things happen for us, not to us, if we're aware. And in the Dagara tradition, water is the force of reconciliation. So sit with that for a minute. What is the force of reconciliation? It's usually forces of adversity. It's the healer of the old stories, but also it's the balancing agent of those forgotten emotions, the ones that we always try to push beneath the surface. It's the cleanser of spiritual residue, which we all carry, energetic boundaries. But water brings us back to ourselves. It's the womb. It's the inner child. And it gathers our sacred pieces simultaneously, but it also returns them to the rivers of who we truly are authentically. And in 2026, that invitation, which is our invitation for everybody, becomes collective. So we are entering a year where intuition becomes strategy, where emotion becomes navigation and navigating those emotional fields, but also where flow becomes the new form of power. So this upcoming year, it really is a year to stop forcing timelines and instead allow the currents to carry you to the people, to the places, and more importantly, to the pathways or the currents that your spirit has been really calling in. Now sit with that for a moment and ask yourself, what has your spirit been calling in? I do a visualization every day, sometimes throughout the day. I always wake up at the witching hour and tune in. But a water year teaches us to receive is not the weakness, and to feel is not a flaw. But more importantly, to soften is not to collapse. It is to really open up. And with everything we've cleared or are clearing in 2025, the snake is shedding, the shadow portals, the reorganization or just reorganizing of our identity, our who we identify, our authenticity is kind of what comes to mind for me. But water really arrives like a blessing. It's the sweet wash after the transformation, after the shedding. It's the tide that carries us towards renewal, but it's also the flow that heals what fire has literally burnt away. Speaking to the snake there. So as we prepare for this new cycle, things happening for us, you really want to put your left hand on your heart and ask yourself. You could even stretch it up into your soul's harmonic. Just seeing that. But it's about asking yourself, where am I ready to flow instead of force yourself? And when I say that, it's like, where do you want to flow, not people outside of you dictating your flow? Or even what emotional current is asking to be felt instead of fixed. Emotions aren't fixed. They are flowing, right? Water is always flowing. Otherwise, the earth absorbs it or the earth guides it. It's a cleansing tool, a reconciliation tool. And also, like, what part of you or me is ready to dissolve so that the path can really open up with clarity? Because in the year of water, alignment won't be found through effort at all, which I'm so excited about. It's going to be found through the surrendering. And 2026 is going to show us that the river always knows exactly where it's going. So with that, I want to have a short little break as we move through the show. This is actually from my YouTube channel. If you haven't tuned in, I do Natal Moon Insights, and this is the Natal Moon Insight for the Sagittarius moons. If your Natal Moon is in Sagittarius, I think it is proficient, I want to say, for each and every one of us, however. So tune into that. When I tune in back, we're going to dive deeper into the Dagara cosmology. And as we finish with the new moon in Sagittarius, the kickoff, This is where the lunar and the solar energies are merging for this expansive, fiery renewal at the new moon. So this one's the cosmic crescendo. The moon and the sun, both in Sag, aligning under that visionary new moon, 28 degrees, with Mars just stepping into Capricorn, really to turn fire, passion into focus. So this is like this radiant closer for this season's lunar series, if you're throwing or picking up what I'm throwing down. And of course, Tiger wants to show it up at the end of the show. If you're new here, Tiger's my cat. He likes the shells. But either way, if your natal moon is in Sagittarius during Sag season, this is the vibe of your tribe. So when the sun and the moon unite in your sign, this is pure alchemy. Your emotional, spiritual flames sync to invite or ignite. I'm going to go with ignite. It's an ignition switch. Igniting purpose, joy, and truth. So Sagittarius season always feels like coming home to yourself. But this year, this new moon at 28 degrees Sagittarius, on the winter solstice, December 21st, this marks a powerful rebirth. Mars crossing into Capricorn grounds your passion into action, while simultaneously Mercury and Venus behind the sun help you reflect on how your values and vision are evolving. I would sit with that. How are they evolving? And then the Gemini full moon on the 6th of December, earlier in the month, because I got ahead of myself, this illuminated your need for balance between curiosity, Gemini, and conviction. Now, clarity arrives in the form of inspired movement, in spirit action. So you may feel emotionally renewed. I mean, your moon kicked off the season. So you could be ready to expand into your next chapter by the time this new moon comes. Restless for freedom, adventure, or new horizons of learning, but simultaneously being deeply aware that growth requires both exploration and a little bit of discipline. So to work with this energy, I would literally, it's Omen Days, set bold intentions that stretch your spirit, expand your world, dream bigger than existence, and really honor your truth through ritual, whatever that is. It could be fire gazing, candle magic, writing your vision as a declaration. I declare. And really take one tangible step towards a dream before Capricorn season even arrives. This action literally anchors your magic. I'm not even kidding. And of course, journaling. What new story of freedom are you ready to live? Go into your soul's harmonic, the ninth energetic center, script with creator, Gus. Gus means God, universe, source. If you don't like the word Gus, just call in, or God, just call in Gus. And of course, an affirmation if your moon sign is in Sagittarius at the kickoff of the season or the end of the season. This new moon, I am the fire, vision, and truth, which I love that. My spirit expands through inspired action. And we are back, and I know you probably love I'm Always in My Favorite Sweater. This was gifted to me by one of my longtime clients. This is the Dagara Cosmology Wheel. I'm not going to do cowrie shell divinations today. I had this epiphany that we're entering a year of water, which I haven't talked about, and we're moving into the fire horse year. So there's this kind of topsy-turvetish, but the elements always speak a different language. So water is about flow, feeling. It's our ancestral memories. It's weaving in. We're going to be weaving in Scorpio energy, the solstice, Omen Days, Pisces, Cancer, water, right? So this really is a water year initiation. So as we stand in this final act, this final phase of 2025, and we look towards this landscape of 2026, we're literally entering something profoundly sacred and literally on a new moon. So this is really like it's preparing us. And a year of water in the Dagara cosmology, this, again, it's a year of flow, memory, intuition, emotional reclamation. It's also the currents and the currency. Water years are rare teachers. They don't push, they actually pull. And they don't force clarity, they reveal it. So the door, it's the doorway into this water year. it literally is beginning exactly where we're standing right now. It's the prelude. So we already experienced Scorpio season, which is the descent into the waters below. It's the what's hidden beneath. And Scorpio season is the pre-initiation. It was the descent into the emotional underworld, especially if you have a natal moon in Scorpio, just saying. And this is where truth and shadow kind of dissolve the old identity. And in that energy, in a Scorpio field, water is depth. It's the healing of what was unseen. It's the purging of old energetic residue. But it's also the recognition of emotional patterns. It's the shedding of outdated skins. And we've been in this year of the snake shedding all year long. So this is the cosmic compost phase. Scorpio prepared the vessel. And it's speaking or invoking, which we need to invoke more of, I just want to say. But it's saying that you cannot flow until you release what weighs you down. And so in Scorpio season, we began the water journey by confronting the places where we've been resisting the flow, preparing us for 2026. And the winter solstice, the still water of rebirthing, hopefully you have snow. We don't in Utah, just saying. So after Scorpio completes its unraveling of the unflowingness or preparing to flow, we then reach the winter solstice, which is the longest night and the birthplace of the light. And in the Dagara cosmology, this is the water of stillness. It's sacred, it's quiet, it's reflective. It's a moment where everything slows. It kind of reminds me of Neo in the Matrix, where he recognizes that he literally is the gift, which we all are. But it's also where everything softens. And the divine is like whispering, the whispering of the divine. It's literally easier to hear because the world has finally gone quiet. It's in the stillness, it's in the solitude. And the solstice is the inhalation before the year breathes again. So it is the bowl that holds all potentials. This stillness becomes the foundation, literally, for how we enter the water year. This just happened for me, like literally this download, which I'll explain a little bit more later for those of you tuning in. But also Omen Days. So this is about reading the waters of the year ahead, right after the solstice. That's when we enter Omen Days. And Omen Days, again, is my most magical favorite ritual of all times. It's the mystical 12 days of the year. And each one reveals the fate, frequency, or emotional weather of the corresponding month in the coming cycle. You do this individually. It's very personal and unique. But in a water year, the Omen Days become supercharged, extra magical. Dreams become prophecies. Emotions become messages. So paying attention. But synchronicities, I was thinking coincidences, synchronicities, they speak louder than ever before. And symbols become instructions. So this is where water becomes divination. So this is about scrying in water and utilizing water. So we're not really predicting the year. We're literally feeling it like our feelings, feeling it into form. So the entire year of 2026 is going to echo what is revealed during these 12 days. So being water, Pisces season coming up, 2026, those are the waters of spirit and surrender. So by the time we arrive at Pisces season in 2026, the water year deepens into the spiritual ocean. But Scorpio literally began the descent because it's a liminal time. And the solstice provided the stillness. And Omen Days reveals the map. where Pisces becomes this mystical current. Pisces is, to me, not just the ocean or big water. It is like the galaxy. So tuning into those frequencies, which some people are magically like tuned into that 24/7. But this is also where intuition overrides logic. And emotional truths become the cosmic guidance. That's the galaxy. So Pisces teaches us to let the current carry us, in this case, the ocean, I'll say, instead of trying to swim upstream. So during a water year, which that's what 2026 is, Pisces season becomes psychic amplification, spiritual softening, energetic merging. It's the awakening of your inner sight. If you haven't tuned into your vision center, and some of us are very clairvoyant. Vision is a thing. I myself am one of those visionary people. But this is the season where a lot of people receive the downloads that literally reshape or re-choreograph their path. So really pay attention to that. And then we enter Cancer season, midsummer, right? That's the water. It's the water of home, heart, and healing. It's the foundational energy, really. So finally, the emotional kind of crescendo of a water year, that's happening in Cancer season. It's the archetype of nourishment. It's the archetype of memory, family memoirs, ancestral connection. It's the emotional body itself. It's connected to the sacral energetic center. So Cancer as a season is where water becomes belonging energetically. In the Dagara cosmology, very different flavor. This is where feelings become the foundation and where vulnerability becomes wisdom and insight. It's where intuition becomes navigation. So in 2026, Cancer season acts as the reset point. It's like a mid-year healing baptism that realigns your spirit, soul, self with the truth of what your heart. It's like your own command center is what I want to say. So if you've drifted off course, as water does in currency and currents, Cancer season will be asking authentically, are you living in emotional integrity? Like, what is your integrity? And it has to be yours, not the outside forces outside of you. But you also want to ask yourself, is your life aligned with what truly, authentically nurtures you? Spirit, soul, source. And in a water year, which is what we're entering, Cancer becomes the great purifier. So this is like a preparation phase. So taken together between Scorpio, the solstice, Omen Days, Pisces, Cancer, they all form the five kind of it's like their own five initiation. There's these initiation kind of steps of water. So first we have Scorpio, which we've already moved through, if you will, which is the releasing phase. Solstice is the stillness, and Omen Days is the revelation, which we're moving towards, like tomorrow. Last day for that is the 24th, just saying. If you've subscribed, you're getting all the emails daily. They're complimentary, by the way. Like I said, this is my favorite season ever. And Pisces is the surrendering, and Cancer is the renewal. So this is the choreography of water. It's the medicine of 2026. Medicine is the magic, and we all carry unique medicine, individual to each and every one of us. So it's a year to stop forcing, stop fixing, stop muscling timelines, and instead just flow and feel and listen and receive. A lot of us have issues receiving. Giving is easy, but receiving feels sideways. I almost said something else, which you already know. But either way, water years teach emotional intelligence, energetic navigation, intuitive mastery. It's water, right? So this is not a year of doing. It's a year of allowing. It's like getting your own allowance and receiving that allowance. And if you soften, if you surrender, if you trust the river, 2026 will become your most aligned and magical year yet. Because water always returns you to where you truly belong. So as we dive deeper into today's currents, I want to share something truly special that's unfolding, of course, behind the scenes, because that's like water. And as we prepare to cross the threshold into 2026, a water year in the Dagara cosmology, the emotional field, the intuitive field, the ancestral lineage, the field of the ancestors, they are walking, and not just walking with us, but they are all waking up. I don't know about you, but my ancestors, especially the feminine, seem to be like percolating a little more than the masculine. I recognize that today. But they're really calling us, I don't know about you, but they're calling, I guess, myself back into flow, into feeling, and into remembrance. And for those of you that are inside the online coven, of course, I've created a brand new ritual experience, especially designed specifically for this transition. It's a subscribers only journey called Entering the River, the Water Year Initiation. So be sure to look for that. I always do an announcement. For those of you who like to swim a little deeper into the mystical, magical current. So this isn't just it's not just a ritual, it's more of a recalibration, a preparation, a softening, a dissolving of anything rigid, stagnant energy, or anything that's been gripping your energy way too tightly. I'm seeing it as like debris, kind of like magnetic debris on your energetic field is kind of what I just saw. So in this kind of guided rite or ritual, we're going to be opening the channels of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, of course, tuning into the water trinity and just cleansing the past through Scorpio's truth, which is deep, and really renewing the emotional body through Cancer's kind of tenderness, the home frequency feeling, and opening the intuitive, the crown center, the horizon, through Pisces, through dream states. So this is an invitation to allow and just let the river carry what no longer belongs, and to let the river return what really is yours by destiny, design, and literally divine timing. The divine works on a different timeline. And if you've been feeling the pull to really expand your intuition, to strengthen your emotional resilience, even just tuning into your emotions or to reconnect with your ancestral waters, then this ritual is your entry point. It's like your beacon, your guidance. So inside the coven, if you don't know, you'll find a full guided ritual, a step-by-step ceremonial kind of flow, an energetic flow, and of course an integration practice, because you have to integrate ritual. Sometimes it happens quite quickly, and sometimes it feels like it's out into the future, to really anchor the water frequency into your daily life. So we're all different. We're all unique. But just know the river is open. The current is always moving. And you're not meant to navigate these waters alone. So if your spirit's whispering, yes, it's time, then come join us inside the coven and begin your water year initiation. We'd love to welcome you into the stream. This ritual is an elemental journey. It's a cleansing, it's a softening, but more importantly, it's a remembering, just preparing your emotional body, intuitive body, along with your ancestral body for the water year of 2026, where everything moves through flow, it's water, feeling, the sacral, and spirit-led guidance, your crown center connected to Pisces. So if you are ready to release the old momentum and just allow and let the river carry you toward what is authentically, truly aligned, then that's where the coven is where this work actually begins. You're going to find the full ritual. I believe I already said a step-by-step guide, the integration, They're already waiting inside. But it's about slipping into the river with us as a collective. You don't have to navigate these waters alone. So with that, I want to have a short little break. And when I return, something different. I'm not going to be doing cowrie shell divinations today, but I do want to dive into the Dagara elementals as we move in, plus Omen Days. If you haven't subscribed, it's really fantastic. I'm just saying, I can't say that enough. So with that, hang on for a minute. We'll do a little Omen Days commercial. It'll probably be my last one, so enjoy. Have you heard of Omen Days? A sacred time of reflection, release, and intention setting, spanning 12 magical nights during Yule. Write down 13 personal wishes before the 21st of December, Winter Solstice, or on the 24th of December, Christmas Eve. Each wish represents something you'd love to manifest in the coming year, but there's a twist. Every night during Omen Days, you burn one wish. The smoke then carries it to the universe where higher powers take care of it. But the 13th wish, that's the one for you to make happen. Write each wish on a small piece of paper, fold them and place them in a jar or a bowl. Every night, pick one at random and burn it. Also, grab a deck of your oracle cards and pick a message each night. Every night, pick one at random and burn it and grab a card. On the final night, take ownership of your 13th wish. It's your responsibility to fulfill. Why is it magical? Omen Days isn't just about wishing, it's about letting go, trusting the universe. By starting on the winter solstice, this marks the return of light, perfect for setting intentions for a brighter new year. Begin on December 21st and embrace the magic of transformation. And we are back. So literally preparing for the water year. 2026 is a water year right before the fire horse arrives in the Chinese New Year, especially with Omen Days and the turning of the year. So we have this arrow and things happening for us, which I'm super obviously elated about. So we'll tune into that. So the fire horse and water. So I'm going to go over each of the elementals, depending what your elemental energy is, preparing us for this new year, and moving into next year. What I'm going to be enchanting about is kind of the word for 2026, the fire horse with numerology, basically, and a little bit more. So each of the elements in the Dagara kind of is going to have a new flavor happen for them. As we move into 2026, I'll talk about your medicine, maybe bring in a mantra, whatever I tune into for each and every one of us, shaping up 2026. And of course, we do have Omen Days, which is very, like I said, the 13 wishes. That's kind of our energetic GPS or pulse happening for us, which who doesn't love that? So as we prepare, and it's the turning of the year, before we continue, I want to kind of highlight something crucial because we're officially kind of stepping into this most enchanted window of the entire year. We're approaching Yule. It's the ancient solar reset. And that's, with that, Omen Days comes, which is the sacred 12-day divination. It's a corridor where the veil's thin and time bends, and every whisper becomes a message, whether it's subtle or in the physical. So these aren't just days, they're oracles, and each one offers a preview, even an energetic pulse, a prophecy for the 12 months ahead. And of course, Tiger wants to show up for the show. However, I just want to say when you pair that with the incoming water year of 2026, where intuition, fluidity, emotional intelligence are really leading the way, Omen Days really becomes our own unique spiritual GPS, and every sign means something, and every dream becomes the map, and every feeling becomes a messenger. That's why I say, literally without any zero hesitation, that this right now is the most magical, potent, life-shifting time of the year. So just knowing that Yule opens the door, Omen Days shows us the path, but you, each and every one of us, get to choose how we walk into the water year and who you will ultimately become before the fire horse gallops in February. And that's going to be igniting a whole new cycle of movement, momentum, manifestation, freedom. So if you want to receive the rituals, the daily interpretations, the energetic guidance for each Omen Day, just make sure that you're at least subscribed to my email list. You'll get that daily in your inbox. And if your soul is craving the deeper magic, the guided rituals, the coven-only meditations, the elemental work even, or the water year initiation, and even the preparation for the fire horse year, that's where you want to come in and join the online coven. It's really going to be elevated in 2026 for a variety of reasons, which I won't cover today. But this is where we track omens. We anchor the intentions and really shape the frequency you carry into 2026. And trust me, you do not want to walk into a water year without energetic preparation or into a fire year without clarity. And of course, I get a spam call during my show. Who's getting those? I'm getting thousands of them. Just saying, that's kind of what's happening for us here. So either way, whether you subscribe to the emails or step inside the coven with us, just make sure you are connected. These signs are coming. The messages are literally forming. The magic is awakening, and it's like on a new moon, literally. Your future self is going to thank you for choosing to tune in and listen in the now. So 2026 being a water year, I want to just cover the Dagara elemental message for each element. As the water year rolls in, every elemental being will feel this current differently. Some are going to dissolve, some are going to deepen, some will actually discover. But for water people, those are people born in years ending in 6 and 1, which has a new flavor. I'll talk about that next week. But this is a return to your source. And in the Dagara, water as an element is about healing, its grief, its lineage, its memory, its reconciliation. If you've ever had a cowrie shell divination, it's your inner peace. But 2026 is going to awaken your oldest, deepest river. So this is a year for your intuition, or where your intuition, it's going to stop whispering. It's going to begin to really literally call your name. You might feel a pull, a tug towards some ancestral healing, or an urge to reset and restore and just reverently or even humbly just remember the ancestors. There could be a softening of your armor, something that you've worn for way too long, even increased psychic openings and conversations. There could even be a demand to feel what you've already been avoiding. But your medicine, because we all have medicine, we all have a gift, we all have a purpose. So for you, this is about honoring your grief that rises, knowing it's not a burden, it's actually a doorway. So in 2026, if you're a water elemental spirit, and that's your medicine, cleanse. You're going to be cleansing your river so the future can flow. You don't want it to actually hold you back. And air people, this is the breath becomes a bridge, the element of air. And I work with 12 different elementals. If you've joined Gift and Purpose, I talk about all of them. But air is communication, it's intuition, it's ideas, ideals, but it's also vision, it's telepathy. So the water year dissolves the mental clutter. It's going to amplify your inner voice. But air meeting water can create fog or clouds ready to rain. Rain blessings, though. So you could feel scattered inspiration that really suddenly becomes kind of the crystalline chalice, if you will. You could have heightened third eye perception or voices, emotional intelligence expanding. There could be a call to speak truth with more of a softness, without the edginess of metal, not with sharpness. But your medicine is to really focus on your breath. Your words become spells this year, so speak like a priestess, not like a prisoner, and utilizing the breath to invoke. And a mantra would be something like your vision is carried on sacred breath or airwaves. Where fire people, I'm a fire person, big surprise, you're learning to burn beneath the water. So fire in the Dagara, it's about spirit, it's about the other world, ancestors, transformation, visions, dream states. And water tempers fire, not to extinguish you or your passions, but more to refine you. So 2026, your flame or my flame becomes more intentional and less reactive. So you could be feeling cycles of intensity followed by deep stillness, like staring at the candle flame. There could be a demand or a connection to pause before you act. I'm also thinking of like Aries and Sagittarius, fire elementals, Leo, the sun. There could be spiritual messages landing through dream space. There could be a quieter, more sustainable kind of passion. So your medicine is a fire being, an element. You know, I always tell my fire people, it's a spirit to spirit connection, spirit to source. So allow and just let your spirit lead you. And just know that your guides speak loudest when you allow the waters of stillness to surround your fire. So sit with that for a minute and kind of feel into what that feels like. And 2026, a mantra for the year. Come back and listen to this. It'll be deleted off Facebook shortly, just so you know. But this is about your flame burning clean and your spirit burns true. So I do like that. I'm just checking in to see who's tuning in. It does look like I'm frozen. I'm not sure where, but either way, I'll still start speaking. Earth people in the Dagara. I should probably change my screen. I don't have that element over there though. But Earth people, this is softening the soil for new growth. Earth is the container. It's service, it's home, it's stability. Where water softens earth, so seeds can split open and begin again, which is the element of wood. 2026 reshapes those foundations, your foundations, gently, but also undeniably. So you could be feeling shifts in your home, relationships, even job, your emotional foundation, even a need for boundaries that really honor your body, being embodied. There could be this undeniable call towards your true purpose, even a longing for new forms of support, whatever that feels like, different kinds of support. But your medicine is to allow and just let the old structures dissolve. Something sacred is sprouting beneath the surface. So I would just say soften in your mantra to become fertile for those miracles, like literally feeding the miracle. And in the Dagara, there's also mineral people, which are also associated with air. There's a bunch of elementals. I'm just doing the basics. But this is a crystalline awakening for you, a water year. And so mineral is about memory, purpose, communication from spirit. It's also telepathy, like air. I think of Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, different frequencies. So a water year activates your inner crystalline frequency. You're the storyteller, the diviner, the wisdom keeper. So you could actually feel or maybe receive a surge of inspiration to teach, to guide, to write, to share. like old soul gifts, awakening, divination, scrying, but air, hearing sister is kind of what's coming in, and energy readings, dream work. There could be a pull towards community roles, sacred memoirs resurfacing. But your medicine is just to let yourself be seen. Let your voice is not simply communication, it's a transmission. So just know and just allow your wisdom to ripple out into the world. So these things are happening again for us, not to us. And next week, I'm going to shift into the numerology plus the personal cycles for 2026. But at the moment, as powerful as the Dagara water year is, we're only touching on the surface. And next week, we're going to be journeying into the numerology. This is a year vibrating at a 10, which moves into a 1 frequency. And 10 is the cosmic reset. It's the rising of a new identity is the 1. So we go from 10 to the 1. This is a year where fate hands us the key, but ultimately each and every one of us decides which door we're willing to walk through. And if that wasn't magical enough, again, we're preparing for the arrival of the fire horse year. So this is happening once every 60 years. That's the frequency. It's known for rebellion, reinvention, untamed personal power. So yeah, most of these people are probably turning 60, actually, as far as their cycle. But the fire horse is coming to burn away what's false and really ignite what is finally ready to rise. So next week, we are going to begin kind of the pre-work because the initiation is very real. This transformation is unavoidable, but the ceremony that we're crafting will not only be for the faint of heart. So again, make sure you've subscribed, make sure you're in the coven, make sure you're ready, because 2026 is not just a year, it really is a rebirth. So as we close today's circle, just remember, we are literally officially walking towards one of the most potent windows, doorways, currencies of the entire year, and Omen Days. Like it's the kickoff, those sacred nights between the solstice and the new year. So this is where the veil is thin. The ancestors are whispering, and the future reveals itself through, again, signs, dreams. It's the cosmic breadcrumbs only your soul personally, truly can decode. So really pay attention. It's a time to become attentive. Not just to yourself, but also to animals that are crossing our path. I've seen a lot of feathers, to the conversations that land out of nowhere, totally unexpectedly, even to emotions that rise from nowhere, and the synchronicities that seem too aligned to ignore. So Omen Days are not for prediction, they're for preparation. It's kind of like a tuning into your inner compass as we step into this water year, but also a fire year where intuition becomes the guide and your emotional body becomes the map. So if you want the rituals, the daily prompts, the divinations, the deeper elemental breakdowns to really navigate this portal, just make sure you're subscribed, or even better yet, just come join us inside the coven where we journey through these days together. The more that come together, the more magical it is. But until then, as always, stay magical. Of course, stay curious and keep your eyes, your heart, your spirit open. The Omen Days aren't just coming, they're literally already speaking. So, of course, I'll see you next week, the day after Christmas. I'll be in my Omen Days moment. I'll probably talk about the blessings of death, because that's coming in. But you know, people throw shade and dim our light all the time. And if people can throw shade and dim your light, then I can radiate your brilliance. I am the Tonya Dee. My intention is to change lives, ignite passions on the information highway while awakening the spirit through elemental rituals, moon medicine, and a lot more. And of course, I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for tuning in. And again, no divinations today. So if you tuned in for that, I'll grab you next time. And I just got to see what's happening here. Mind me.